Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Power Block here on Monsters Network. I'm your host, the Atlanta Insider Eddie B. Joining me is the boss man, the one, the only Mr. Corey Derrick.
Hello, I'm here. It's late on a Friday. It's Friday, right? Today's still Friday. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's Friday night. I'm surprised we have an episode this week, even though it's Boss Rush Spring Break. Yay!
Hey, it's the Power Block Vacation Edition, everybody. We have a special guest joining us. The what you call him? The
TMNT Sensei.
Yeah,
yep.
the
TMNT Sensei.
Yes, LaMont Reed is joining us this episode. Hello, LaMont.
Hello. Yes.
Yes, everybody.
I'll be playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge because it is amazing. That's all I wanted to. But yes.
So I actually played it. Well, are we doing Playing with Power? We're doing Playing with Power. I'll talk about that.
Sorry. We Playing with Power. Well, before we get to Playing with Power, Corey, you want to do our Patreon shout-outs to our producers?
Oh yeah, we do that here. Sorry, I'm trying. I'm trying. So, a little behind the scenes before I get into the Patreon here. We're recording. I'm actually editing an interview that Celeste did on my laptop and doing our social media posts for next week while we're recording. So
you're the king of multitask, my friend.
Yeah, and then we just recorded Ninja Turtles Standard Definition episode, which I'm really excited for. And yeah, it's just it doesn't stop, we'll say. But anyways, you can support Nintendo Power Block and the Boss Rush Network by heading over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. It's a subscription service where you can support your favorite creators. We have a $1 tier where you get early access to 4 shows, and we have a $5 tier where you can become a Patreon producer. What does that mean? It means you get early access plus a shout out on this segment of Nintendo Power Block and our other content. So without further ado, everybody, let's read our Patreon producers. Celeste Roberts, Francisco Santillan, Rebecca Jewell, Adriel Munger, and my wife, Sana Derrick. I want to thank all of our Patreon producers for supporting the show. I want to thank all of our patrons, and I want to thank all of our free listeners. Remember, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. So when we get back, Ed, speaking of TMNT, okay, yes. We, as Nintendo Power Block, are going to give away a digital copy of the Cowabunga collection.
Yes!
We will. So the game comes out on what, August 30th, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yep.
So we are going to start promoting the giveaway. But since you're listening to this on summer vacation, if you are listening to it, we're going to give it away. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited to give this away. We'll announce details on how to enter the giveaway soon, but be prepared. It's going to be exciting.
Yes.
I didn't tell Ed that before this, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
But we knew that something was coming.
Yeah, well, I couldn't decide if I wanted to do Splatoon or Ninja Turtles, and I feel like Ninja Turtles is more us. So, yes. I know Splatoon would have been the more popular option, but Ninja Turtles is us, you know? So.
Yes, you guys, someone will be able to play online with us. You know, come play Hyperstone Heist with us.
Yeah, we have quite a few giveaways coming up, so please stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned.
Yes.
Very excited. Anyways, continue, Ed. Sorry. I just wanted to get that out of the way because it was exciting.
Yes. Well, everybody, we're going to quickly jump into Play with Power. So, LaMont, you brought up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. We all have played it. I have beaten it. Corey, you have experienced it. LaMont, you have experienced it, and I think you also beat it. So I think it's a good time for us, and it's been like 2 months already, in a sense, that the game has been out. I kind of want to ask you guys thoughts about this game. Corey, I'm gonna start with you.
So here's the thing. I really like it a lot. It's definitely a throwback to my favorite games on the Super Nintendo and Genesis, right? Turtles in Time and Hyperstone Heist. I wasn't. The weird thing is like I was enjoying it, but I wasn't loving it until like that game is totally. You have to play with other people, right? You have to play with other people with that. And I got to play with my nephews who are 9 and 7, and they got a huge kick out of it. And it was way more enjoyable that way. And I know everybody's going, well, duh. But I'm like, I don't... I have friends, but I'm also a parent, and like all my friends play games at times when I don't. So it's like really hard to coordinate. So... And I don't like to bother them at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night to say, hey, you want to play Turtles with me? It's cool. And then they're like, I'm in bed, get away from me. Or like they're already playing with other people, you know. And I know a bunch of people from Boss Rush played that opening weekend. And I was like, I really wanted to play, but I was like, I don't want to like just barge into somebody's community or somebody's like community playing or whatever. And so I was just like, you know what? I will play by myself, and then I will get my nephews to play with me, and it was a good time. But I love it. I love the art design. I think the pixel art is near perfect.
Yeah.
Casey Jones in the game just obviously makes that game top tier automatically. But yeah, I mean, it's an awesome experience. I recommend everybody play it. If you don't want to spend the $25, I think it is, which is cheap for that game. That game should have been probably 30 or 40. I would have paid for that. It's on Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass, so you can try it out. And if you want to take it on the go, then you play it on your Switch. But get it on your Switch, everybody. Be the Nintendo gamer we know you are. Okay.
I think a lot of people did buy it on Switch.
Yeah, it's sold. It's closing in on 2 million units, which is good. I'm glad.
Yeah. I just looked it up. They're over 1 million units right now. I'm not even sure if that includes the physical, like the special physical editions. Maybe it does. I'm not sure about that yet.
Oh, but... for like limited run.
Like yeah.
Well, if they haven't shipped, it doesn't count. So
right, makes sense. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just getting a regular physical edition. I wanted the big huge one, but look, my wife would have shot me if I bought a $200 Ninja Turtles collector's edition.
I was gonna get that edition, but I was just like, that's way too much even for me, and I'm already gonna get Cowabunga collection, so that edition. So I'm just like, well, that's all the memorabilia I need,
Yeah. I wonder which game is going to have a lasting impact with the collection or with Shredder Revenge, in a sense.
Ooh.
I don't know, because Shredder's Revenge is definitely made for the dads who grew up in that era, right? Those games, like nobody born outside of like 1995 is going to care about that game. I wish they would, because it's a great game, and maybe some people do, right? Maybe some people grew up with that late 90s, early 2000s run of Turtles, which is also very good, I think. And they're like, oh yeah, Ninja Turtles, cool, but like. Nobody cares about the Ninja Turtles like 80s kids, right? Like nobody does, I feel like. So,
that's true.
Yeah. And it just like, for me, Ninja Turtles hit at that right time between like, I was a little too young for Transformers and G.I. Joe, but then like it hit at that time between, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Voltron, that era, He-Man, and Power Rangers. And Ninja Turtles filled the gap between those two in terms of popularity, I feel like. And I was born at the right time for Ninja Turtles. Don't get me wrong, I like Transformers, and I really do like Power Rangers a lot, especially, the first 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, but like
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles, man. I have probably 200 Ninja Turtles action figures. I have everything except the Technodrome. I had the blimp, but it popped and I never replaced it. And now it's like a gajillion dollars to try to find a blimp. But, I had all of the sets. Like I had the movie sets. I had the sports characters. I had the Universal monster set. Like, they just kept coming out with new Turtles. They had the Transformers sets, which were really dumb. LaMont, I'm sure I'm sure you had a lot of,
I did, except for the blimp and the Technodrome. I think I remember wanting one for Christmas, and my mom said it was too hard to find. So they were really selling those Technodromes, and I had the sewer. That was pretty cool. And of course, I had the party wagon, and all that, and yeah, it was quite a time. It
Party
really
wagon
was.
is cool.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor had all the turtle stuff. I just had the video games.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
that sounds like it.
Yeah.
Gee.
I was never into.
Don't worry, Lamont. We'll start our own Ninja Turtles podcast, and what those podcasts where like the stars of the shows will go back and watch their old shows, like The Office one, and I think Boy Meets World just started one, and they just started a Smallville one, right? We should just do a Ninja Turtles one.
I saw that.
We should just do the Ninja Turtles. Ed's not included.
Wait, what? I watched the cartoons.
Nobody
I watched
cares.
the movie. I just I was never been into picking up action figures and stuff.
Well,
I'm
saving up for those big, huge the NECA ones.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Ones. Like the 12-inch versions of the 6-inch ones you have, Lamont.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are amazing.
Oh my gosh, I want those so bad.
Yeah, I think the only I can actually say the Amiibo are the first time that I actually got to like collecting figures and stuff like that and everything. Even though,
why are you disappointing me, man?
I've just always been into, when I tell you I was into gaming, I was into video games and EGM and GamePro. I wasn't into like toys like that. If it was a toy that I wanted, it had to be like a tray or something, because I was literally into trains.
I was into trains too, but I was into other stuff like Ninja Turtles, the cool stuff.
I was just, and then that's when I started getting into like anime on public access. So I wasn't a big collector of figures and everything. My brother, though, he did have a Voltron camera that you could actually put real film in and take pictures, but you could flip it open, and it was the style of Voltron. So the flash was the head of Voltron, and you could take pictures with it.
Oh, I remember those. Oh, yeah.
Because it was black, and then everything came out just like, yeah. So my brother, he probably was into that. Not me.
Oh.
I mean, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Sure.
I know for sure this revenge for me. I played it. I beat it within a day. Played it with the guys, and I kind of just like, oh, okay, that was a great experience. I was hyped. I got my full, and I haven't been back since to it.
Man, that. Yeah, I mean, so I'm taking a bunch of controllers with me, so my nephews and I can play while we're there. But it's gonna be in handheld mode because I'm not dragging a dock there. But yeah, I like it, and I think if I just give it some more time, I'll end up loving it. I just you know, there's a lot of stuff I was trying to do at the time, and I just couldn't focus on it. I think too was a lot of big distractions going on when it came out. So I mean, I love the look of it though. Like it's definitely like just amazing.
I would say it's a good indie game of the year nomination for me, along with Stray. Like I love the fact that this game is, I think 16 levels is like this is a long game. So don't be like for $25 you don't get a lot, because you do get a lot of bang for your buck. And I like the visual gags in parts with it. The Foot Clan playing on the computer like they're doing work. And there's one picture that the Foot Clan, he's typing, but there is no keyboard that he's typing under in the first level. So yeah, it has a lot of great replay value and a great soundtrack and everything. It just, I think I got my full of it. I'm just like, okay, that was a good experience. I got to move on to other games and stuff. Yeah. So
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ed.
No, that was it. That was it.
I was just gonna say it's definitely a game for people who are nostalgic for Ninja Turtles, for sure. You know, and if you're not nostalgic like the way LaMont and I are, like it's just not gonna. I don't think it's gonna sway you either way. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. I mean, I'm of course I'm still playing it. I guess I'm trying to savor the moment because I like to play and beat the game with each character and not even go back and play with believe it or not, I haven't been played with Master Splinter yet. I'm still he's like the last character I'm going to play as, but right now I'm Casey Jones, and it's an amazing game to me. It really is, and especially because you can truly tell there was a labor of love working on this game. There was a real labor of love, and I think that alone, if they even get nominated for Game of the Year, I will be hyped. I mean, I really would.
I think it might be in the conversation. I think there's a lot of other things out there right now, though, that are like, you know, I think Elden Ring is a big one. I think Horizon's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think those are the two that a lot of people are looking at right now, and I'm pretty sure Elden Ring is gonna kind of take over on, you know, I shouldn't say unfortunately because I'm sure it's a great game, but you know, I feel like Horizon is a game that gets snubbed every time it comes out, right?
Yeah,
I think Elden Ring will win it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it is like everybody. I think with the Game Awards, watching it wise, I'm like, I don't think people are going to be caring about the awards because they know that Elden Ring is going to win it.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Game Awards. They care about the announcements.
Well, yeah, that is true. But I think people who want to see who wins what categories and stuff, that may create conversation and everything. But I think like for this year, there's not going to be no kind of big conversation. It's going to be like, just give stuff to Elden Ring and let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though that as great as Elden Ring is, I think there's been a lot of games that have came up this year. I think that deserves some attention and some more discussion than Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, for sure. I do want to play it at some point. I think I'm going to try it. I know people I know I said I wasn't going to get it, but like something about Death's Door is like, well, maybe if I gave it a shot. But also, I want to be the curmudgeon that everybody doesn't like on the internet, making fun of these games. So it's part of the fun.
Yeah, I still gotta give it a try myself. I haven't tried it yet.
I'm waiting for people to play Ghost of Goblins Resurrection.
Are you playing that right now, or
no? Ed just likes to bring that up anytime somebody brings up Dark Souls because it's hard.
Yeah, I mean they're not gonna play. If they're not gonna play,
I want everybody to play Tetris on level 9.
Oh, actually, I'll play that with ease. I just do that back in the day on the NES. Start with 8. because it used to make the game go faster, and I would catch up with it. Third thing. Well, everybody, we're going to quickly jump into some Femi news.
Whoa! You said playing with power.
Well,
we're not going to finish. We're just going to let LaMont talk about turtles, and then nobody else gets to talk. That's the rule?
Corey, what have you been playing with power?
Huh?
What have you been playing with power?
Come on, man. I have things I want to say.
Okay.
Let me whip out my old Switch here and tell you what I've been playing. Okay. I've been playing. Oh no, I don't have enough room for these. So
I saw you playing Fire Emblem's Three Hopes too.
Yeah, I was playing a little bit of that the other day. I really like the combat and how like it's weird because it's like super simplified but also super strategic at the same time, and it makes me really happy.
Yeah,
you know. That's a game that I'm going to just dive into on vacation. You know, Death's Door, I'm at the final boss, or I guess the last two bosses. I'm going to try to finish that on vacation, and then I am just diving deep into Fire Emblem. And Fire Emblem's amazing. I love it. I almost like it more than Three Houses. I don't, but it's like I love the characters. I think Shaz is awesome. I don't know why I call her Shaz. It's Shaz.
Me too.
I think I want a Shaz amiibo. Like, where's my amiibo or my? You know, they're selling that $200 or $150 sculpt of Byleth. Where's my Shaz sculpture? I want that Fire Emblem sculpture though, really bad. Oh,
me too.
Yeah. I also got kind of into like my nephews came over and I got into Smash last weekend, and so like I've been like going back into Smash and being like, I just kind of want to play some Smash, you know? So I played a little bit of Smash. And then, Edward.
Yes.
I tried out the Mario Kart courses. And I have to say that Wave 2 is, in fact, better than Wave 1. Like...
Oh, it is? I haven't played them yet. Like,
loads better than Wave 1. I was so disappointed in Wave 1 that I stopped after 50cc for it. You know. I like, and I love Mario Kart 8. I think Mario Kart 8 is the best Mario Kart ever made, right? Like I really do. Yeah. And the fact that we're just getting course after course after course after course for the next year and a half is amazing. But Wave 1, I was like, what is this? I feel like this was made in like Game Builder Garage and somebody just laid down some tiles and was like, here we go, Mario Kart. But Wave 2 is great. The brand new course, the Dessert Donut Sky High Donut Shop, whatever it's called, is awesome. It's super cool. The Mario Kart Tour levels are like, they're fine, but you can definitely tell that they were designed for a mobile interface in a mobile game because they're short. They're so short, you know?
Oh.
And, they're fine. I think New York Minute is one of the levels, and there's an Australia level. I think it's called Sydney Speedway or something. It's cool. Like it's cool to see like these weirdly real life places in these games, you know, in like a Mario-fied way. Even though we did see New Donk City and Mario Odyssey, but that's like, I don't know. But seeing like real Earth places and Mario is weird. But yeah, Mario Kart DLC is awesome. And then Ed, of course, I had to jump back into Breath of the Wild and just run around for an hour the other night while I was not sleeping. Yeah, that's what I've been playing. Highly recommend Wave 2 of Mario Kart.
That's good. Just been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'll talk more about that next time, everybody, because there's a lot for me to cover. And we're on vacation. So
We
I
are
want to.
starting tonight at, I don't know, whenever we end this podcast. We are all on vacation.
Yes. So now we're going to get into some good family news.
No Snacktendo?
No Snacktendo tonight.
gosh,
We're keeping
Ed.
keeping
Come
it
on.
light. We're
I
keeping it
actually
light.
had things to talk about.
We're going to save it for next time.
But I'm going to have
We go
good things on
live.
vacation. I'm not going to have these good things to talk about.
You will have something to talk about next time.
I had some empanadas.
That's good.
Some oven, like you put, they're like the southwestern Tex-Mex version of pizza rolls.
Oh wow.
They're so good. They were so good. And then we had southwestern egg rolls too, like the oven baked ones. I just dip them in some ranch and they're so good. And then tonight my wife made some fajitas.
That's what I had for dinner.
Yeah.
Fajitas and Mexican rice.
Yeah. And then my mom brought donuts over today when she watched the kids, so I had 2 of those, 2 chocolate cream sticks. Oh, so good.
Man, sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a donut.
Sorry,
Oh, well.
Ed. I came prepared for this episode for the first time in a long time, and then you don't want to talk about anything I had prepared.
we're having a vacation episode because we got, some news to talk about, and we got a good kind of.
No, we don't. By the way, no Pokemon direct recap show because there was not enough to fill a direct recap show. So
that's pretty much it.
I know we said that on the last episode that you would get one on Saturday, but there was not enough to talk about.
Oh yes. So big shout out because we do have the story on Boss Rush Network, bossrush.net. Shout out to Brad Melville who wrote up this recap episode. You guys can watch that and take a look at his article. They actually started off the 2 legendary Pokemon. For Pokemon Scarlet, you're going to get Koraidon. And for Violet, you're going to get Miraidon. And you can ride and fly these Pokemon in it. So you can ride them on the ground, take them also on the water. Their new fairy type Pokemon is Fido. It's a dog that looks kind of like he was being made out of bread, out of dough. And then they showed off kind of like their new kind of powers for the battle mechanic. And this is the Terrestrial Force. Terrestrial Force gives your Pokemon a crystal-like aura around them, as well as a headpiece indicating a different type. Some examples that were in it were a bouquet of flowers for grass type, candelabra for fire type, and a fountain of water for water type. And also, everybody, this game is going to be an open world RPG.
Great.
Where there's going to be 3 stories. We don't know the other 2 yet, but we know the first one, where you can go to any gym and fight those gym masters any way that you want to. So it's kind of like there will be a story, but for right now we don't know what that story is, and it doesn't seem to be like any kind of hand holding in this game. But did you guys get to watch the direct?
Yes.
I didn't really watch it. I watched the trailer that they put on Twitter afterwards. It looks way better than the last couple Pokemon, like in terms of just visually. I feel like Nintendo's they have like almost like a quote unquote, so this is going to sound bad and I don't mean it to be, but like Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade, and Pokemon now kind of all have a similar look in terms of art style, where like if you're doing a, proportionate human video game, right? Like they have that kind of very colorful, not quite cell shaded look, but very distinct like shadows and the way the grass moves, and you know what I mean? Like everything has a distinct look to it. And I feel like Pokemon is going after that Xenoblade and Zelda look to an extent. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the only one that sees this, but I actually really like the look. I think it looks cleaner.
Yes.
I think it looks like it has more life in it than the previous. Even Legends Arceus was like, this still feels really stilted, and I didn't like Arceus at all. What I played, I tried. Like I wanted that to be what this looks like it's going to be, and it wasn't. And so this is what has me excited for this.
Yes. What about you, LaMont?
Yeah, I pretty much feel the same way as Corey. I watched the direct, and it was really nice. I guess we're going into full Breath of the Wild territory. It's not like, just certain sections that you can access to get around. Now it's like fully open, and I really like that concept. I'm very interested in seeing how the multiplayer is going to go. That's going to be that's going to be something. Oh yeah, someone asked me which version I'm going to get first, and I just pre-ordered the double because. And I know this is gonna sound, this is gonna sound funny, but like, at first I said I want the one with Professor Seda, because she's hot, and that's the one. That's the one I'm going to start with first, and then I'm going to go with the other one. But
that's fair. That's Scarlet, right? I think, or is that Violet? Is that Scarlet? That's Scarlet, right? She's the Scarlet Professor.
Yeah, it's Scarlet. Yeah.
I might have to switch my pre-order now.
I'll start with that first.
For me, yes, I did enjoy this game. Goodness, that's I did. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Can I say real quick? Can someone explain to me the Terra mechanic? Because I don't know. I was listening to it and I was kind of confused. Like you end up changing types or something. I don't know. I maybe I'm just gonna have to rewatch it because I just didn't really understand I didn't understand.
Well, the form gives you a Pokemon crystal-like aura around them, as well as a headpiece indicating a different type. So, like, let's say you have a Eevee, and it's grass. If you get like a head type, there's a way that you'll have grass and water, or you could turn your type into water from what you originally were.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why I was even confused by that, but okay, so that's a way where Eevee can turn into. I guess it depends on the type. You give Pokemon that type, and it becomes that. Okay. I thought it was like something else because it's like what?
That's an interesting mechanic, actually. I must have missed that. I didn't watch it though, so I mean, I guess that's probably why I missed it. But
yes, so
cool.
I'm getting the double pack. I'm probably gonna start with Violet on this one because I kind of like purple, and I'm going to start with there. So I thought this was a good.
Color? Purple's your favorite color?
It's one of my favorite colors. Yeah.
Cool.
I did enjoy this direct. I was they had a good intro with all the other stuff they were talking about. Seeing this one and learning the news for it just made me a little bit more excited. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. I can't really wait to dig more into it. Anything. So it wasn't nothing like blowing our minds or anything. A whole bunch of people always say that they'll protect Fido with their lives, and That's normal.
Is Fido the new Bidoof?
Probably, I think so. But everybody was talking about Whopper. This version of Whopper.
Pokemon Violet, brought to you by Burger King.
well, the candy Whoppers too, right? The chocolate malt balls.
Nobody thinks of those when you say Whopper, though. Everybody's like Burger King.
Well, yes, but because of the way that he looks, his skin on the outside is a poisonous touch. So I think what they're probably gonna have is like if you tackle with him, you could poison your opponent. Anything because the skin is untouchable. So he looks kind of down and out and everything. And Grayson was just like, "What did they do to my boy?" So it's very interesting to see and everything. Someone put a box of Whoppers on the actual Whopper candy. And I'm like, what did the... Oh, I see. I got it. It took me a while to look at it. Because the box of Whoppers looks just like that Pokemon. If you look at it. I was just like, I see. Okay.
I mean, that's fair.
Yes. So it was a good direct. I think we're going to get some more of it before the game releases. I think we'll get a more detailed breakdown of it. But... Corey sent me this trailer.
Are you just doing news then?
Yeah, just okay. We don't got too much.
I'm just messing with you. Ed's just like taking over the whole show. He's like, no snacks, no games. I'm doing news.
Well, we're on vacation.
I know. Ed. I'm just messing with you. You can do whatever you want. I know this is a weird episode. I'm just kidding. I just like to give you a hard time, especially when we have guests, because it makes it funnier. Because I'm not the only one laughing.
Why me? Why do I get it?
Because Lamont's nice.
Wait, I'm nice too.
I can be mean.
Lamont likes Ninja Turtles. Okay. So.
I like Ninja Turtles too. I love them.
No, I'm pretty sure you said at the top of the show you hated Ninja Turtles.
I do not.
That's what I heard. Is that what you heard, Lamont? That's what I heard.
Wallow square.
Oh man.
Well, Inte Creates is coming out with a new game that's now in development. It's called Grim Guardians Demon Purge, and it kind of mixes up Castlevania and Mega Man together. You guys can go check out the trailer. Actually, Corey, when you sent me this trailer, like the news wasn't out yet, so it just literally came out of nowhere. And it stars two demon hunters, Shinobu and Maya, who must infiltrate a dangerous castle that now stands in place of their former school. You'll be able to switch between the two characters, sorry about that, on the fly to utilize their unique skills, or you can team up with a friend for 2-player co-op gameplay. Shinobu she does a lot of melee combat, and Maya does a lot of the shooting combat. So you guys can go check out the trailer and everything. It looks really, really good. And I think this is the first besides that. Well, yeah, I think this is the first Metroidvania adventure game that actually gives you 2-player co-op for it. I know, Lamont, you haven't been able to see it or anything, but the story is on Nintendo Life, so you guys want to check it out. And this was written by Olive Reynolds on Nintendo Life. It looks really good. I was just like, I got to have this game. Surprisingly though, it is coming out for everything. But if you look at it, it really fits well on the Nintendo Switch system. it reminds me of Castlevania Portrait of Ruins, where you was able to switch between protagonists. Your male protagonist had the melee, and your secondary character, she had magic. So it was giving me this feeling on it. So you'll be able to switch your characters, like they said, on the fly, but you might use Maya to do like some Mega Man action. So you might be fighting someone against who has a lot of water. You throw on electricity, then like it may confuse or daze or knock that person out. You switch to Shinobu, and you can whip her for more damage. That's what it looks like it's going to be. I'm interested to see more. But what did you guys think about this? LaMont, I know, like I said, you probably haven't seen any about it, but does this game kind of interest you in a sense?
I mean, it sounds really interesting. I need to check it out. This is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Lamont, I'll send you the trailer in the
Please.
in what's that platform we all use to talk to each other? Twitter. I will hold on. I got to copy the link from the message I sent Ed. It looks super cool. Like I think it's so
I've been like a Mega Man.
It mixes Mega Man and Castlevania together.
Yeah. And so here we go. I'm going to send it to you right here. It's definitely got a cool art style. It's got a great, looks like it has a great combat system, and flapping between the protagonists looks like a really cool mechanic. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the biggest Castlevania person. Like I am going to try to play some on vacation, because Castlevania and Mega Man are like the two big holes in my gaming career. Why won't it just let me send a new message? But I think that this game looks awesome. It has the look of a new school retro game, and that's something Inte Creates has always been good at. And it looks cool. I love the art style. I think the art style is awesome. And like I know a couple weeks ago on Boss Rush podcast, we talked about how kind of tired the pixel art looks, but when somebody does it right, it just looks so cool. I love the art. I love the backgrounds. I love just the character design. I think it just looks awesome. So I'm rewatching the trailer right now, actually, just to refresh everything, and it's like, oh my gosh, it looks so cool.
Yeah, Corey sent me this. I texted him back and said, I need this now.
Yeah.
I reviewed it.
Yeah, so it looks awesome. So.
Yes. So, Corey, your thoughts? It just, like you said, just looks cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I will buy it because it looks like a game that I theoretically might want to play someday, but also I love the stuff that Inte Creates does, right? Like they made Mighty Number 9 interesting with Gunvolt Burst, right? And I mean the Gunvolt games are cool, and the stuff that they've done, like the Curse of the Moon games, are awesome, and they just know what they're doing. They just know what they're doing. I think they did Blaster Master also, the Zero games, Blaster Master Zero, a trilogy of games, which is weird.
Oh, and they're so good.
Yeah. So they know what they're doing. I trust them, and I would be super interested in this game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want this. Yeah, I gotta have this game. This is really good.
Yeah.
Nice. Just two quick stories. We know Freedom Planet 2 is coming to Switch next summer, but the bigger story, and me and Corey talked about this on on a Nintendo expansion pass. Square-Enix is potentially looking to sell stakes in the studio after reporting declining financial results. This story comes from Nintendo Life Again, and Alana Hagus has written this story. Um, Square Enix has been a mainstay in the industry for years, but it looks like the Japanese publisher and developer is struggling, having reported declining financial results for Q1 2023. Besides the huge success of its MMORPG Final Fantasy 14, it should be for 2022 though. And following the publication of those results, Eurogamer reports that the company is looking to improve capital efficiency by selling stakes in the studios. This comes from an internal conference call held after the results were shared. With MST Financial Analysis David Gibson breaking down the discussion on Twitter. Square Enix recently sold a number of its Western studios to Embracer Group, but that was only phase one of the company's plans. The next stage is for Square Enix to diversify the studio's capital structure and be more selective with resources due to rising costs. Resources will be focused on Japanese developed games, with European and American studios impacted the most. One way Square Enix thinks it will improve its capital efficiency and offset rising costs is by selling stakes in some of its studios. Gibson suspects that the likes of Sony, Tencent, and Nexon will be among the interested parties. What this means is that Square Enix won't entirely sell studios, but rather a percentage of them. David Gibson, he tweets out, Phase 2 biggest impact is on EU, US studios around large titles will be able to allocate resources mainly to Japan titles. So SE is looking to sell stakes in the studios to others to improve capital efficiency, right when others like Sony, etc. are buyers. I would expect Sony, Tencent, Nexon, etc. will be interested. Interestingly, though, once the sale with Embracer Group goes through, Square Enix would gain $1.4 billion and potentially remove any debt they have. Following the call, Square Enix shares have risen. At the time of the story being published, Square Enix Holdings Company Ltd has seen a 11% increase. The company has a huge slate of releases coming out at the end of this year, including on the Switch. The DioField Chronicle launches on September 22nd, followed by the Switch port of Nier Automata in October. Farming Sim Harvestella and Tactics Aura Reborn in November, and Dragon Quest Treasure in December. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is also due out in the winter. It also already released two fantastic games earlier in the year and a long-awaited port, Triangle Strategy, Live Alive, and Chronicles. So it's been a busy year for Square Enix. And we'll just have to wait to see what happens with the company for the rest of the year. And lastly, everybody, they also got Forspoken, which is coming out next year with Final Fantasy 16.
Right.
And Final Fantasy 7, Remake Part 2 next year.
Yeah, Rebirth. Yes.
Yeah.
Rebirth.
Cool. Square's not really making giant AAA games. They're making games that aren't going to sell millions of copies, right? I mean, You think about DioField Chronicles. Hey, that's not a name you're going to just, oh yeah, it rolls right off the tongue, right, to look at. And you look at the game, it's kind of like when they show gameplay, it's kind of confusing at first glance of what type of game it really is. Now, granted, it's like a strategy RPG with a twist, but like you look at that game, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what kind of game this is. And Triangle Strategy is like, okay, well, it's a cool game, but also doesn't have a name that people recognize. I honestly think the biggest game they're going to release this year is Tactics Ogre.
Yeah.
In November. No offense to Square, but that's like the only name that people are going to recognize. Unless Crisis Core comes out this year, which I doubt.
Yeah, I think Crisis Core is probably going to be like next year.
Yeah,
I think
it's next year
still
too.
winner. Yeah, and like Harvestella is a new, like the DioField Chronicles and Harvestella are new IPs for them. Also with Triangle Strategy, that's also a new one. Like Live and Live Chronicles, Live and Live is more of a remake because it never came to America. Near Automata support, Dragon Quest Treasure, yeah, that is a new game too, but it's part of the Dragon Quest family, so it's like nothing really new.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was coming out. That'll probably do the best because it has Dragon Quest on it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So, I know when we talked about it, Corey, we were talking about like how Sony might end up buying them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they want. I bet that happens sooner than later now, to be honest. It seems like, I mean, that story came out from the former studio director, question mark, of Eidos Montreal, saying that, like, they never believed in them, right? And there were talks that they were going to try to sell off the company at some point while he was there, and that Sony had piqued interest multiple times. They just didn't want the Western studios because they have enough third-person action games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I would not put it past them. I think it's inevitable at this point, unfortunately. Even though they have a great relationship with Nintendo and they're building one with Microsoft, it just seems like you look at their huge AAA titles like Final Fantasy VII and 16 and Forspoken, all which look amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't have a PlayStation 5, so I can't really utilize those games yet, but like they're some special looking games at least, and Sony wants that. They want that. If Microsoft is going to be the king of Western RPGs at this point, then Sony might as well be the king of JRPGs. With Square, and who else? Who would fill that gap better at this point? Unless you went and bought Sega with Atlas, but Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest carry so much weight in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Sony wants to maybe kind of recapture that audience because, PlayStation has become such a Western brand since the PlayStation 4. Well, I would say actually mid PlayStation 3. That they released the PlayStation 4 in the United States and Europe before they released it in Japan, right? And so, I don't know. I think the writing's on the wall. It's a matter of when, not if, at this point. And it's sad, but also, if this is what both sides want, then I don't see how this isn't going to happen.
I'm assuming that because of the Avengers really hurting them, in the sense that from Square's point of view.
It's not just that though. They remember when they put all the blame on Tomb Raider because it sold 7 million units and didn't meet expectations, or like how great Guardians of the Galaxy was.
Yeah.
Deus Ex, Game of the Year nominations sold less than 1 million units. Thief was
Sleeping Dogs did wonders too. Look at what they did with that.
Yeah, they shut down United Front. Like there was a lot. There's so much that I think they had a good idea of, hey, we want to grow in the West because 15 years ago everybody thought Japanese game development was dying. Everybody was moving to mobile phones or Nintendo, right? The DS. And with Japanese games thriving again, you look at Capcom. Look how Capcom turned around. Look what Konami's doing.
Oh gosh.
Look at Sega. Look at Atlas. The popularity of these games are growing. Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, Yakuza, Final Fantasy coming back with Final Fantasy 16 after, I liked Final Fantasy 15, but I know a lot of people thought multiple things about that game. Dragon Quest, look how great Dragon Quest 11 was, and so the rise of Japan is back. Koei Tecmo, Look at the rise of Dark Souls, and Neo, and what's the new game coming to Xbox? Wo Long. Like,
yeah, that game looks interesting.
And you look at all the partnerships Nintendo's making with these companies, right? Like getting Koei Tecmo on board for Warriors games, Bandai Namco on board with partnerships. The rise of the resurrection of Japanese games is here, and I think Square had a good idea. They didn't capitalize the way they wanted to. They're emptying the dead weight, and they want to be with Sony. They clearly want to be with Sony. And, if that's where they want to be, then that's where they want to be. If they feel that's where they can make the best games and the most money, then as a business person, I would say, yes, let's do it. Give me all the money, buy us, and we'll make games exclusive to your platform. Because, like, regardless of what anybody says, and multi-platform games are great, and they are, right? I love a lot of multi-platform games. I think it's mostly exclusively what I play outside of Nintendo games. I think developing for one platform really lets you utilize resources in a smarter way. You don't have to spend that extra money on dev kits and porting and, extra engineers to kind of design games for these, design the things for these consoles. And I think it's going to work to their benefit. I mean, look how amazing Final Fantasy VII looks.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I posted this question to another podcast.
Not our podcast.
Gaming.
What?
Mm-mm. I posted it to him because I asked the question: do you think Sony's Japanese developers, like their first party developers, feel jealous and unsupported than their Western developers? And the reason I brought that question up is because it feels like you just said, Corey, like PlayStation 4 came out here in the West. And when we think of PlayStation 4, we think of Naughty Dog, we think of Insomniac, we think of a lot of their Western first party games. Then we do think of their Japanese games and everything. So if Sony were to buy Square Enix, does that even make their first party Japanese developers feel even more supported? Because Square Enix in Japan is a big publisher. It's a big company.
Mm-hmm.
And
huge.
It's huge, but definitely mattered. Yes, we'll miss out on Microsoft and Nintendo. Like, we'll take that loss. It is what it is. But then, does it feel like it's more biased that Square Enix is getting more love as the same as these Western developers than still some of their lesser known, like, Japanese first party? In the sense, like, will Sony treat Square Enix as they treat Naughty Dog?
I mean, I bet they do in a certain way. I mean, I think Naughty Dog is like the crown jewel of Sony right now in public perception and probably internally, right? It seems like they have carte blanche on everything. Like, they can do whatever they want and Sony doesn't care, which is good and bad, right? Like, whatever. I don't have an opinion either way. But I do think that this is going to be Sony's big step back into the Japanese market, at least perceptively, and how are they going to be treated? I don't know. Will they treat Square like Bungie? Multi-platform games, these games fit well on Switch. We don't have a handheld. Are we going to put them there? Because, they're already looking at PC gaming as a second outlet. They go to obviously all these games are going to go to PlayStation first, right? That's their business strategy. But once that stone is squeezed dry, they're going to look at other outlets. How can we make more money? Jim Ryan is regardless of what you think of him as, like, an executive or whatever, he's turning out to be a pretty smart businessman for PlayStation. He's making some interesting decisions that are probably going to do great things for PlayStation. Let's buy Bungie. Destiny will stay multi-platform, okay, but we can utilize their tech, we can utilize their matchmaking, we can utilize their online infrastructure, we can utilize, their personnel to say, hey, we need your help building games as a service because we have 10 of these in development right now, and we don't know what we're doing. Please help. Not that they're doing that with Square, but they would have their MMO, right, with Final Fantasy 14. I think a lot of people forget that that's still Square-Enix, right?
Yeah.
They would have arguably the two biggest names in JRPGs with Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, especially in Japan. They have a lot of interesting smaller JRPGs, right, with Valkyrie Profile. That Valkyrie Elysium is coming out. Forspoken, I think, is going to be a new franchise, hopefully, for Square. And we got a lot of backlog with Square also, with like Mana and Saga Frontier and Vagrant Story and Xenogears technically, and there's a lot. There's so much they could do with these franchises.
And it's kind of going to be weird because, yes, like I said earlier, Nintendo and Microsoft will lose out on Square. It is what it is. But then that just ups Sega and Atlas awareness for their games, because Atlas, in a sense, is going to be the replacement of Square Enix. If Sony has to make sure that they make the right decision if they was going to buy Square. If you only allow Square Enix to do Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, which is fine, which is great.
Well, that's where I'm at the point where like Sony would probably have to let them operate as their own entity, the way that Microsoft is letting Bethesda kind of stay who they are, But again, I mean, I know Microsoft and Sony's strategies are different, but I think Square has enough power, the way that Bungie has enough power to say, hey, we're going to do what we want within the bounds of the PlayStation ecosystem.
Right, because I think the first thing everybody would be like, well, the trifecta is there. You got Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and with Persona now being big. But if Sony focuses more on the Square products and not so much with Persona, if Sega switched and said, okay, it seems that Persona used to be big on Sony, but they're not really focusing on us. If Persona was to go to Microsoft and Nintendo, that's going to change the discussion about some JRPGs, big name JRPGs, because at this point in time, Microsoft got Phantasy Star Online on lock. I'm not about to deny that at all. Nintendo got now Xenoblade. The Xenoblade series has become that big JRPG along with Fire Emblem. And so if Atlas come out and start putting his art on those other platforms, Square Enix and Sony might be in trouble. Even though you got the biggest JRPG publishers, the other developers and publishers who are making games, they're getting more recognition and sales than what Sony used to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sony has to make sure that if they were to buy Square, keep them doing multi-platform games. Because I don't know how LaMont and them are going to talk about this on Crossroads, but right now, and it's good that you brought up Bungie. Sorry, we're going to get back into Nintendo.
But this affects Nintendo directly, right? Because like if somebody buys Square, we're not going to get Octopath Traveler sequel or Triangle Strategy or Tiafoe Chronicles, right? Like we're not going to get the next Dragon Quest. This affects Nintendo, and I think it's important that if you buy Switch and you're expecting Dragon Quest 12, you may not get it.
As long as Sony says, okay, you guys got existing contracts, we're going to let you guys finish the contracts. That would be it. As long as those contracts could come out, I think after Dragon Quest 12 still released on Switch, I think that would be like the last game. Because we already know that Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming out for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's another
that's
franchise. People, I forgot the
Oh, wow.
I forgot that Kingdom Hearts existed.
Yeah. So it's
Whoops.
it's going to be something interesting to see how that goes. But speaking about Bungie, and because this is my thing, Microsoft is not. In my opinion, Microsoft is going to still keep Call of Duty multiplayer. Bungie is still going to keep.
They already, both companies said that. Bungie said that Destiny and anything I don't want to say anything Destiny related that they develop is going to stay multi-platform.
And I think
there's a rumor of that hero shooter coming, which I'm actually kind of excited about, but I know we're not going to talk about that. But and Microsoft said that Call of Duty will remain multi-platform.
Yes, I think if those two companies do different IPs, that's when the exclusive stuff starts, or the brand, I should say, platform should start there. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Any thoughts, LaMont? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I totally agree. I honestly haven't really. I'll admit I haven't really formulated a full opinion on this yet. But now that you brought up Kingdom Hearts, it's just kind of it's like, oh man, we won't get any more Kingdom Hearts with Switch. Oh man, that would suck.
To be fair, we never got Kingdom Hearts on Switch. Cloud, jerks.
That the cloud version, people proclaim that it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, Ed. Don't be one of those people, okay?
Gosh,
I'll sick Galatrat after you.
You did.
I miss Jacob a lot.
So, that's gonna be it for Family News. We're gonna get into a quick doc mode, because I was telling Corey this, Lamont, while you was gone. I had this thought that I feel like Switch, and this is for first party, just literally first party. A lot of their games, probably 80 to 90% of their games, have been a million seller. And I think Switch is probably the only system at this time for a Nintendo console that majority of their games have sold over 1 million sales. And I don't know, Corey, if you want to go do that list or anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can go through the list. Nintendo Switch. What I would be more interested in is to see like how many games sold on like Wii U, you know. But we'll do the Switch sales. Let me find the list. Sorry.
And before we go in, there's going to be some games on the list that's not from Nintendo. So even though it's going to be like Corey, you said 60 games, I think. There's some games that you could give and take on it. Because because you didn't say Mario and Rabbids, right?
I did. It sold 2 million.
Oh,
yeah,
2 million.
But there are games on here that that aren't on this list that I feel like should be on here because companies have announced how many. You know, like we talked about Doom selling over 1 million units, and it's not on this list. Or Skyrim. I'm sure Skyrim sold at least 1 million units on the Switch, right? That game sells everywhere it goes. So, I mean, not to like put this. I don't know how new this update is. Wikipedia seems pretty up to date most of the time. But yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of run through some of these games, and it's not that it's a couple games that have sold, you know, astronomically. This list is 62 games long. Probably 50 of them are first party games, and every single game on this list has sold at least 1 million units, and actually, 15 of them have sold over 10 million units. So, I mean, we did before we were recording. We were talking about the PlayStation games that have sold over 10 million units, and they have 10 first party games that have sold over 10 million units, which is, still awesome. Selling more games means they get to make more games, which means we get more games to play, regardless of platform. So, also Nintendo does not report digital sales either, so these numbers could be way higher, especially for something like Doom and Skyrim. I feel like could possibly be that too.
Oh yeah.
So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 46.82 million units. It's the best-selling game on Switch right now. 46.82 million. And then you look at the Wii U Mario Kart sales. I'm bringing that up right now. On Wii U, so the Wii U sold 12.86 million units.
Wow.
Mario Kart 8 sold 8.46, so it's about a 65% attach rate.
Yeah.
And now you add that to the Switch sales, right? So Mario Kart physically has sold 56 million units.
That's
physically.
crazy.
And I know I bought it digitally, so I mean that's one, and Mario Kart seems like that game that people would buy digitally just to keep on their system all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So you're looking at maybe like 65 or 70 million units of this game on one console. Oh my gosh. That's insane. That's so crazy. And then you have Animal Crossing, which sold, 39 million units physically. And half the time, essentially, because it came out in 2020, right? And Mario Kart came out in 2017.
Yes.
It's so crazy. 40 million units in 2 years.
And that helps sell Switches.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh yeah, it's right.
Smash Brothers at 29 million. I'm gonna round up, or round down, I guess. Zelda at 27 million. Pokemon Sword and Shield at 25 million. Mario Odyssey at 24 million. Mario Party at 18 million. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl at 15 million. Let's Go at 14.5 million. Ring Fit Adventure at 14.5 million. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 13 million. Splatoon.
That still boggles my mind.
Oh, what? Everybody hated that game when it came to the Wii U, and then it sells 13 million on Switch. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I'm aware. Luigi's Mansion selling almost 12 million units is insane.
I'm happy for that one
because I'm shocked that it got a third game in the first place, and it goes and sells 12 million units. Man, love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mario 3D World at 9.5 million. Mario 3D All Stars at 9 million. Monster Hunter at 7 million. Yeah. Mario. Yeah. Mario Maker at 7 million. Mario Party Superstars at 7 million. Link's Awakening at 5.5 million. Switch Sports at 5 million. Kirby at 4.5 million. Age of Calamity at 4 million. Skyward Sword at 4 million. Like, this list, we're 30 games deep, and this list, man. I was joking with LaMont earlier, but Anuma and Miyamoto or Scrooge McDuck in their Nintendo castle somewhere, Gosh. So, Nintendo, the Switch is a hit. There's no doubt about it. There's no question this console has just sold so many units and so many games. The attach rate is 9 games per console, I think, which is you know, I'm sure our collections probably skew that number quite a bit because
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't even want to tell you guys how many Switch games I own, digitally and physically. It's gross.
I feel like me and you are in the same boat.
Oh my gosh, dude! It's
Yeah.
I just bought Pac-Man for $5, dude. Like, just oh yeah, cool, neat, $5.
Shoot, I bought Dungeons and Dragons
no.
edition a couple of days ago. It was only like $4.
But even games like Paper Mario and Metroid are selling 3 million. Pokemon Snap's almost at 3 million. Yoshi's Crafted World at 2.5 million. ARMS at 2.5 million. Like, come on. Pikmin 3 at 2 million. I bet if it was the first one, it would have sold at least 5. Just saying. I like Pikmin 3, but Pikmin 1 is the best. So, yeah, I mean, Xenoblade selling, 2 and 3 million units, respectively, 1 and 2. I just, this console, man, even the weird games are selling 1 million units, right? Like Astral Chain, a new IP, selling 1.5 million units.
Nice.
Shin Megami Tensei selling 1 million. Brain Training selling 1 million. Resident Evil Revelation selling 1.2 million on the console. Marvel Ultimate Alliance selling 1.3. I mean, even Labo is on this list at 1.4 million units. So, yeah, I don't know, man. The Switch has and this is why when we talk about what's next for Nintendo after the Switch, it's like, why would they ever move off of this thing? Like, this is what scares me. It's like they're doing so well. They have so many interesting, unique games. The only thing they need to do is make this thing a little bit more powerful.
Yeah.
It doesn't even need to run at 4K. Like, just make the insides a little bit more powerful, make it run smoother, make it, run more modern games a little bit better. It's all they need. It's not like, of course, would I like to see a Zelda game look like Horizon someday? Sure, I would. But we're not going to get that. So, like, the stuff that we do have, like, I just want it to, like, look a little bit cleaner, run a little bit better, and just keep giving us these awesome games to play. Now, granted, they could spend a little bit more time on this Mario sports games, guys. Come on. Mario Golf was a little weak. Sorry. But, like, for every Mario Golf, you get, like, a Zelda, like a Breath of the Wild, and a Metroid Dread, and, Dread, I'm not a big Metroid fan at all, and Metroid Dread is just one of the most fantastic games I think I've ever played, And I don't even care about Metroid. Like, I like Metroid, right? Like, I think Samus is a cool character, and, like, the concept is cool, but, like, I hate getting lost. Really, the determining factor of me not playing Metroid is, like, I get lost real easy, and then I get frustrated.
I'm like that too. I remember when I first played Metroid for the Nintendo. It didn't take me long to just give up because it was so hard. And
yeah,
Metroid for the Super Nintendo and Dread, those two, I truly invested time to just really dig into those games, and I love them. Mm-hmm. They're amazing.
Yeah,
I haven't finished them yet, but I still love them. I haven't finished them yet. I'm pretty.
Look,
games though.
You can love games without finishing them. You know how many games I love that I've never finished? Okay, Outriders, perfect example. Game's amazing, and I just haven't finished it. Oh, that reminds me, it's on Game Pass. I could take an Xbox controller and just play on my computer. Or I could take my Backbone and play on my phone, which is the worst option.
You're supposed to be on vacation.
Playing games is vacation, dude.
I mean, for you, yes, that is true.
Not an animal.
Well, it's just I brought this up because just thinking about Switch, like having a lot of your library on just this one console past a million, like you said, making great money, and it kind of shows the importance that with the physical version, people know that with Nintendo and definitely with Switch, that more people are willing to get that physical version because they know that if anything happens with the digital age and they still want to play that game and it's physically, they could pop it in and do it physical. You know,
Yeah,
in the
that's the problem is like physical, like Nintendo's online infrastructure is so scary sometimes, that you aren't sure. I would love to say, I'm all digital on PlayStation and Xbox, right? Like I have a couple of my favorite games from those platforms physically, but I'm not like actively collecting the way that I do Nintendo stuff, right? And Nintendo is scary because you look at the Wii the Wii eShop, first of all, that shut down. There's exclusive games on that console that you just can't go download anymore because it's not linked to your Nintendo account. You can't turn your Wii on and download them. And then you look at the 3DS and Wii U and you're like, well, okay, well, I have a Nintendo account on these consoles. Okay, what does that do for me on my Switch, And I think the Switch and even the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 to an extent are the beginning of perpetuity, right? The way that Steam has been since it launched, right? Yeah. Any game you buy from here on out, digitally at least, will work moving forward, And Xbox has shown a great platform of backwards compatibility support, right? Like the Xbox is backwards. It's funny because like the companies that should be doing that are Nintendo and PlayStation because of their legacy. And no offense to Microsoft, but like people care way more about Nintendo and PlayStation IP in the grand scheme of things, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and speaking of just like backwards compatibility, it took Xbox a long time to get there. This is before Phil Spencer. Like the people in charge of Xbox did not want to do backwards compatibility at all.
No.
And Nintendo had it from when you did GameCube. Even we talked about this on standard definition for our ranking Nintendo, where we were just like people who got a Game Boy. Outside of playing it on your Super Nintendo, you were able to play it on your Game Boy Advance. And then you was able to take your Game Boy Advance games and play them on DS. And then when it got to 3DS, I think you was able to play your DS games on there.
Right. But this was before like the digital age, right? Where like
yes.
I think Nintendo did that because it was easy. It was easier for people to swallow a $200 console if you could play the games you already invested in on it, right? So the Wii had a GameCube inside of it, right? And it just worked with your GameCube games, and the Wii worked with the Wii U, and the Switch is like really the first time since the Nintendo 64 where that didn't happen,
And that's only mainly because of the media that the Switch is used to play games, dedicated for Switch.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's just a change of media. But like, if Switch was still like a disk drive system, we probably will be able to play Wii U games on there.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about all this, LaMont? I feel like Ed and I kind of took over the conversation.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I'm sorry. Yeah, shoot, I don't know what to say. Oh my God.
Just like, how do you feel about the Switch's sales, and like, are you afraid of the next console? Because
Oh,
like,
um,
do you think it's going to be backwards compatible with the Switch? I mean,
it
it better be.
I pretty much said the same thing you said. I mean, like, I really don't know how they're going to top the Switch. I mean, I don't think they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't think they can. Backwards compatibility. I remember when I was playing the Wii, and I got my first glimpse of internet connection. I was looking through their shop, and I was blown away. And you got to hear the music and everything. You get to shop through, the a la carte retro games. It was amazing. I honestly, I would love a backwards compatible Switch. I don't think it'll go that route though, but I mean, it would be nice. Bring back the virtual console and it's back to its former glory. Add some more games to it. I don't know why they haven't started with Game Boy or Game Boy Advance yet, but I don't know.
That's what people want, right? I mean, that seems like the
Yeah,
next logical step is Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
yeah, yeah. I just don't see how I can get any further than the Switch.
Yeah. I
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
go
Ed.
ahead. Corey.
Nope, you go
No,
ahead.
I wonder if outside of the normal Nintendo innovation and thinking of gaming, I wonder are they thinking of power? Because at this point in time, Nintendo has to think to themselves that yes, we do want to get our engine or whatever we use for our next console, but they got to be like, what, Unreal Engine 5 is the next step. Luminous Engine is the next step. Some of these companies who have these engines that's developing for Microsoft and
Uh-oh. We lost Ed.
oh,
Oh, nope, you
hello.
guys are both there. Sorry, you guys both froze on me for a second.
Oh,
Oh,
It's
no.
fine. Continue, Ed. Sorry.
That those engines for these current for Series X and PlayStation 5, Nintendo has to be thinking we got to find a chip that we could probably customize or we could get into our system that could do games and that can handle just like Series X or even the Series S or PlayStation 5
Oh, gosh,
that
I would
could
take
do
Xbox
those
One
games.
at this point.
I'll take Xbox One X. Yeah.
Yeah, so the rumor is that they're waiting on the next Tegra chip, which will likely have DLSR in it, which is like
Mm-hmm.
AI computing, 4K upscaling, and like that. The way the AI works with what is it? DLSS, not DLSR. That's a camera. Jeez. Sorry, it's late. I know we're all tired. But I think DLSS is a great thing for Nintendo to allow their games to run smoother, right? They can technically double your frame rate, like it could make your 1080p games run at 1440p without any extra horsepower, because of AI predictability. And so that mixed with some new kind of hardware, like, I think the next Switch could actually be super powerful in a way that Nintendo is comfortable with, because we're not getting a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X level console from them, right? We're just not. But they could get an Xbox One X console into this little handheld, and I think people would be super fine with it.
Right. And we know that Nintendo art style is not too heavy on the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they get something with a better frame rate and, putting some of their games, even if it's just 2K, I would be fine with that.
Mhm.
And I know for Kyle, it's just like, we got to make sure that, because he said that if they put out too many Switches, they know a lot of those are not going to sell because of there's been a decline in Switch sales, and some of it has
Because
to do
everybody
with
owns
parts
one
and
already.
stuff.
They're waiting. They're
Right.
well. The thing is too is like I think like everybody that has one, everybody that wants one probably has one. People are still buying the Switch Lites for their kids. The OLED wasn't enough of an upgrade for a lot of people to upgrade, even though it is a lot nicer. I feel,
Mm-hmm.
mostly because I thought mine was going to take off like a jet engine at one point. So yeah, I mean, I think the next whatever hardware revision they put out needs to be more powerful for them to gain interest. And I hope they take those steps because the Switch is an awesome idea. It's a great console. It's a great idea that if they ever went back to the old idea, people would be furious. I feel like people would be
Yeah.
super mad if they
Yeah.
went back to a
I know.
dedicated. Yeah, a
I mean, I love, like huge. I love the idea of having huge RPGs on the go.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I heard a rumor that they're working on a Switch Lite 5G.
I heard that rumor too, but it's only for Japan, I think.
Ah,
Because they're all they always they're on the go all the time.
Yeah.
I heard that too, and I think that'd be super interesting, especially because like the Vita or was it the Vita? The Vita had the 3G Vita
Yeah,
where you
but
could play.
with AT&T.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that would be super cool. But I heard that rumor too, LaMont. But I think it's only for Japan.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I have a feeling that Nintendo's R&D department are just like probably drawing, getting ideas, probably researching, different chips. Like I think I'm gonna say nerding out, but I think they're trying to look at different tech to be like, what can we do to elevate our system? And then we'll get into the innovation because we need something to make sure that we are on a level that it doesn't feel the same way as a Switch, like tech wise in a sense, but like their OLED, put the same OLED, or even like if they want to put a different kind of OLED in the next Switch, do it. Because like the OLED looks good right now, and I think a lot of people will be satisfied to be like, yeah, I'll buy a Switch with the same OLED or a deeper OLED if it could be more powerful, and them just figuring out how do we make this next system. Because right now, I bet you, because the Steam Deck just got announced to come to Asia. And I think they're pre-orders and stuff. And I feel like one of them is going to get a Steam Deck, and they're going to take a look at that to be like, okay, what makes this popular with the Americans and some of the people in Japan? How do we make sure that if we bring up our next console, that it feels different than a Steam Deck, it really feels like a Nintendo product, and B, that we are a little bit better than a Steam Deck, to make people realize that, yeah, you got a Steam Deck for these games, but you don't. But we as Nintendo got these games and these other games that's running better, and this cool innovation of a system. Because don't forget, a 1 million sell games on it, that Corey just like that list is crazy. Nintendo wants to continue that for their next console. And if they could do that with their next console, what are people going to say then?
Yeah.
And I think that would bring in more of. I know me and you, Corey, we talked about Western developers. We had a conversation. I think that's going to be like, okay, EA, you see what we did. It's there's time for no excuses.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole again right now.
I know, but I'm just saying it's time for no excuses. We got the power, we got the community, we got the sale numbers.
Yeah, but I mean, to that point, and I know we should probably start wrapping it up soon because I have to get up in like 4 hours. But just to kind of like put a bow on it, like I feel like Nintendo is finally in a position where they don't need to rely on third parties. And it's ironic because the third party games are finally coming from a lot of other companies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's making them look even better. And that's what I'm so excited for. I'm excited for like this fall, I'm excited for, Splatoon and Pokemon and all these other games, but like I'm so excited for Nier and Persona.
Yeah.
And Hogwarts Legacy, these big, massive games that I can just take with me because they're on the Switch. And that's what I want most, especially with my life right now and not being able to use the TV a lot and just, just give me that, man.
Yeah. LaMont, any last words?
Oh no, I'm with you on that, Corey. I'm just really thinking about how much I'm enjoying the Switch, and now in my head I'm just thinking, how can they improve upon on the Switch? Like, what are all the different features we can get? And not late features. Like we just got Bluetooth. Ooh.
Hey,
I mean, it's there, but it's just like
wait till you play Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and you have your Bluetooth on. You listen to that soundtrack, you be like, "Yep," and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Uh-huh.
I can't wait. I'm definitely checking it out. Yeah. But I just can't wait to see what's next. Hopefully it comes out this year. Final Fantasy Crisis Core. Haven't had the chance to finish that game yet, and the gameplay looks amazing. Even on the Switch. I noticed like with the angling, because the gameplay was kind of weird on the PSP for me anyway. But you could just move around easily in that game with the Switch now. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to the future.
Yes. Well, with that, everybody, we're going to wrap this up, and we're going to continue our vacation, I should say, when you watch this video. I want to thank you, LaMont. I want to thank you, Corey. LaMont, where can we find you?
Thank you for having me. Well, you could check me out on Discord. I am TMNT Dork, and you can also check out my my articles on Boss Rush Reviews and Boss Rush Network. And you can just check us out. Also on our Facebook chat on Boss Rush, you can check us out there too. So definitely feel free.
Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on the Boss Rush podcast. You can find me on Standard Definition, Expansion Pass, and plenty more here on the Boss Rush Network.
Yes. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at that Retro Code. You can check out more of my work at bossrush.net. Check us out on Discord for Boss Rush Games. And check us out on our YouTube Boss Rush Network. But then, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. We are officially on vacation for this recording, I should say. And when you guys see this, we are enjoying our vacation. We kind of want to know, what do you think of Nintendo's first-party games selling 1 million, and what did you think of their next console? Will they be able to continue that streak again? Let us know. You can follow us on Twitter at PowerBlock Podcast, and hit us up there and everything. And like Corey said, we do have a giveaway, and we'll let you know those details later on. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo PowerBlock. Bye, everybody. Woo-hoo.
Bye.